Hello, welcome to my live stream. Let me know in the comments below whether you're live or whether you're watching this on a replay. I welcome you here today. My name's Caroline Cooper and I am the founder of Profitable Salon Creator. It's a movement for salon owners looking to get their salons more profitable. So make sure you drop a comment below if there is anything you want me to talk about more of in the future. But I'm welcoming you today because, oh my God, it's scary times right now. We're slowly moving back to normality as we move from level 4 to level 3 tomorrow. But for salon owners, we still have a little bit longer to wait before we can get back operating. And this is a bit of an unnerving time. So I thought what I would do, if you're feeling like you're an anxious owner, or even if you're a stylist for that matter, who's a little bit anxious about how COVID is going to affect your salon, realize you're not alone. So this is why I've created this for you today. I've had salon owners reaching out to me on almost a daily basis, wanting to find out answers to questions about things, how things will be post COVID-19 lockdown and what they can do to really get their salon profitable quickly. So because they really want to be profitable so that they can weather economic storms like this more successfully in the future and ultimately have less stress running their salon. So I'm going to do a series of 4 Facebook Live for you over the next 4 days to address some of these concerns I see popping up and hopefully give you as a salon owner some advice and some guidance and some more clarity around what actions you can take to navigate your way through these uncertain economic times as quickly as possible. So I've got 4 topics I'm going to cover over the week. Today, we're going to look at the post-COVID economy, how to heal from the anxiety around economic uncertainty. So tomorrow, we jump on. Make sure that if you haven't already liked my page, that you do that so you'll get a notification when I go live with my Facebook Live tomorrow. We're going to talk about communication and how this is going to be the new love language for your clients. Then on Wednesday, we're going to talk about personal accountability and why expecting more from your staff is going to be the new norm. And then on Thursday, we're going to round it all off with how to sell with heart, creating an authentic response to COVID and getting paid for it. So this is what we're going to cover over the next 4 days. If you have any questions that come up, you can either leave a comment and I will, hi Macy, lovely to see you. And I will answer them. Either I will respond to you privately or I will cover off on some of that information over the next coming days. So after this Facebook Live session, I'm actually going to jump onto my Facebook group, the Profitable Salon Creators Network, where I'm going to answer some specific questions that I've been getting again and again from salon owners to just give them a little bit more detail around some specific answers to each of the topics that we're going to cover. So today, I'm specifically going to answer some specific details on the economy and how to calm the anxiety around that. And then tomorrow on communication, Wednesday on personal accountability, and on Thursday around selling in a post-COVID economy. And so if you want to know a bit more, feel free to join us. Just join up to the Profitable Salon Creator Network. I will put a link in the description of this when I've finished it, and so that you can join up. It will probably be about an hour later, so don't panic if you can't do it straight away. But there'll also be, I'll put the replays up as well. So if you join the group later, you'll still be able to jump in and catch that too. So also to let you know that on Thursday's Facebook Live, make sure you check out the description because there will be a resource link to download that will cover really summarize everything that we've covered over the 4 days. It will answer some of the key questions that I'm getting from salon owners, and it will provide you with reference points when the anxiety starts to set in again, and when you see things in the news and you think, oh my gosh, what's this going to mean to me? You'll be able to go back to it and see whether that can unravel some of that anxiety for you. So make sure you don't miss out on that. That will be on Thursday's Facebook Live in the description there. So let's jump right in. So where are we now? We are in absolutely unprecedented times. We keep hearing that again and again and again. But the question we have to ask ourselves is, really, are these unprecedented? So the last time we had a global pandemic like this that was comparable in size of number of people affected was probably in 1918, the Spanish flu. But our economy has changed so much from then. Our way we operate as a global economy has changed so much. It's really difficult to look at the economic lessons from there and translate it to try and predict what will happen in the future. All the economists vary in the way that they evaluate what will happen, the size of the impact in terms of the global economy, how it will affect New Zealand's economy, how the two will interact, and what the effect of that will be. But there is generally a feeling that there will be some economic downsizing. Now, when you think about economies and people talk about recessions and depressions, I really want you to take comfort in the fact that even if it feels like it's harder to get money and harder to earn money, you have to remember that when an economy goes into recession or depression, the money hasn't disappeared. It's just not where it used to be. So as business owners, we sometimes have to pivot and we have to get a little bit creative in the way we go about doing our business to be able to tap into some of those sources on where the money is hiding now. And our economy tends to tighten up because people panic and they hoard their money and in savings or debt repayment, which is quite sensible on a personal level to do. But the long-term impact for the economy is that it can be difficult to find that money to grow your business. So we will cover more of that on Thursday when we talk about how to sell in a post-COVID economy and some of the techniques to do it in an authentic and aligned and a heart-focused way so that it doesn't feel slimy or greasy or pushy, but it allows you to be really conscious about the feelings out there and feel empathetically addressing your clients' concerns, but then getting paid for doing that. So I want to talk to you about the situation that I know from my history. I've been through 2 economic downturns. The first one was after 9/11, and at the time I was working in the food and beverage industry, and there was some definite economic impact on that. The second was in 2008, the economic global financial crisis. Now, this had real resonance for me, or a real learning opportunity for me, because I actually bought my first salon in August 2008, it went through in August 2008. And it was literally around the week the financial crisis moved to New Zealand and we started to see the impact of that. So I had just bought a brand new salon with no experience on running a salon at the time the world economic crisis hit New Zealand. And so I have always been quite an academic person. I like to read and research and find out what this means. So I, at the time, did a lot of research and I kept a focus on what was really happening in the globe, how it was impacting us, and what that meant as a salon owner. And what I discovered was that when the economy shrinks, the money moves position, it moves where it was. The discretionary spend reduces and people are no longer buying big ticket items anymore. They're no longer buying the new car, the new TV. They're not going on the overseas holiday. And what you tend to find is people start to treat themselves. And even with reduced incomes, things like hair salons, beauty therapists, massage therapists, alcohol, food to entertain at home, those sorts of things become a bigger part of the discretionary spend than before it was. So what I actually found as a hair salon was that after an initial sort of slowing period where people were just generally a little bit more cautious, once people started to live through the change in the economy, I started to find people were spending more. But again, it had to be delivered in a way in which it was heart-centered and not about selling. But when you engage with them at that heart level, people had more money to spend in that space. So my feelings for the hair and beauty industry in certainly the short to medium term is things will be okay. You may see some changes in the spending patterns of consumers and the way in which they spend with you. And there might initially be some reluctance to spend, but as you've experienced living these 4 weeks with lockdown, as time goes on, you get more comfortable with it. You get more used to it. You're ready to start coming out of it. And that's exactly how it will be with initially when people go back into spending. They might initially be a little bit conservative and a little bit cautious about spending, but another 4 weeks and they're going to start to relax those personal restrictions they're placing on themselves. Now, that won't be for everyone, but I'm talking as a general population. What you'll find if you're in a high-end market, you might find this more difficult than if you are servicing the more family and more middle class or working class kind of salons, because people wealthier tend to be the ones, believe it or not, that shut up shop in terms of personal spending much quicker than the rest of us. We tend to keep spending, and we certainly move our discretionary spend to more of those feel-good kind of emotionally touching products and service points. So I'm quite optimistic about how the future will be. I definitely think we will have to change the way we do things. We have to work smarter, and we definitely can't assume that we can't go back to work assuming things will be the way they were. But I think there's definitely space to grow your business in this economy. I definitely think there's space to build on, pay down debt and build on your financial position. It's just you're going to need to get the support of your accountant. You're going to have better systems. You're going to have systems that actually give you more structure and robustness. And we'll talk about that more on Wednesday when we look at personal accountability for stylists and about how you need to expect more from them. And you need to redefine your service offering. So I also want to talk a little bit more about how bad things can actually get. So I want you to be mindful of profits. And what I mean by this is that you will see on the news, you'll hear experts prophesize at how bad things could get. You'll also hear people say there's absolutely nothing to worry about. And the reality is, my feeling is it's somewhere in the middle. And I know that's not helpful, but what they say, take it with a grain of salt. In my experience of living through 9/11 and my experience of 2008 is, personally, I found some things really difficult to move through and other things that I didn't find such a problem. Other people found it a problem. So what you'll find is your personal touch points with the economy will have a different result to someone else's. And there will be things that you will find harder and things that will suddenly become easier. And this will be the same for everybody, but in different ways, if that's making sense. So I just want you to just be mindful that there is a lot of hype, that the newspapers and the media want to get your attention. They will say things that can be quite shocking if you don't necessarily read it all or totally get what they say. I know it can be a little bit confusing, some of the things that they talk about, but don't just read the headline. Don't just listen to the hype men. Take a balanced approach and realize that some things will be worse and some things will be better. And what those things are for you may not be the same for someone else. And just work on your situation. Which moves me to the next thing is, keep your focus local. So that means work on what is affecting you. Work on your salon. Develop your systems. Grow your service offering. Refine it. Care for your clients, care for your staff, care for yourself, care for your family, and care for your community. Now, if you can do that, that's a lot to do. That's a big responsibility. So don't worry so much what's happening overseas, because we, at the end of the day, even Jacinda cannot control it. Even Donald Trump, who's the President of the United States, cannot control it. It is, you have to let that stuff go, because if you focus on yourself, and you focus on what's important to you. And as women, we're so good at doing that. We're so good at really investing our time and energy into the things that matter to us. So this is a really great time to utilize those skills as women and really engage with the things that are important to us and really put time and effort and forward momentum, put planning, keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry about perfectionism. Just do things and communicate with the people around you. So keep your focus local, support your local businesses, and that other people will support you. Look at new ways to be caring and be mindful of each other. So the last bit is arm yourself with gratitude. So when it comes to overcoming the anxiety, I cannot promise you that things will work out. No one can promise you that. But if you want to help yourself overcome the anxiety and worry, which is so normal in this situation, oh my gosh, this is the third time I've been through it. And I can say to you that no matter how bad it feels in your lowest point, you will overcome this. And it may not be in the way in which you want it to be or the way you imagined it to be, but you have to have trust in the universe that they have a plan for you and that you can overcome this. And it sounds very spiritual to say that, and you can translate universe, you can exchange universe for God or whatever your thing is, but you have to have faith that things will move through. And the best way to do this is to really focus on gratitude. So when you wake up in the morning, if you write down all the things you're grateful for, even if you find that really difficult, start with things like the fact that you woke up, that you have fresh water, that you have clean air, that we live in New Zealand with very, very or almost insignificant rates of community transmission of COVID, that you have a salon, that you do have staff, and start with that and focus on what you can be grateful for and what you can be thankful for, because it is proven that engaging in mindful behaviour and engaging in gratitude and thankfulness is really great at improving mental health outcomes. Now, if you want to get through this in the best shape possible, no matter what the universe throws at you, you have to look after yourself first. So my advice to you, if you want to overcome the anxiety, is look at the past. The economy does get through. It does recover. If history tells us anything, it will recover. Maybe not as it was before, but it will revive. It will come back. Be mindful of who you listen to. Take extreme views that things will be super okay or super not okay with a grain of salt. Keep your focus local. Work on the things you actually have a ability to make a difference. Work on your business. Work on your staff. Work on serving your clients. Work on your family, and work on serving your local community, because that's where you can really make a difference. And finally, arm yourself with gratitude. Be thankful for what you've got and take time to relax and meditate on this and contemplate and go through this process, because it's so important that you attack this with the strongest mental health and the strongest sense of calm that you can. And you're not going to get that from an external source. You're only going to get it from yourself. And you are strong. You have run your salon and you have overcome so much. So take some positivity out of that, and know that you can do this. You've got this. You can recover. So tomorrow we will be going over communication being the new love language for your clients. We're going to talk about how we can really make an impact in our clients' lives by focusing on new ways of communicating and new ways of engaging with our clients. So that's all for today. I know it was a big one, and I hope you found some value in it. Drop me a comment if you have any questions, and just tell me if you want me to DM you, or just I can answer it generally. I'm going to jump over to my Facebook group, the Profitable Salon Creators Network, and answer a few questions in more detail on this topic that I've had salon owners asking me over the last 4 weeks. So if you want to join me, I would love to see you there. And otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.